Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. It is now time for the updated review of the ZWO SEESTAR. Now, in the month that I've owned it, I've noticed a lot of different changes that have been made within the app. I've learned about a lot of different features that are going to be released for the SEESTAR in the future. And honestly, I've gotten to know the device a little bit better and I feel like I have a lot more left to say about it. And I will eventually in the future have even more to say once more features have been released for it as well. But for now, let's just go over some of the new features that have been revealed and do an updated review of the Seestar S50. Alright, so as I said, I received the Seestar S50 about a month ago. And at the beginning, I honestly didn't really understand the features that were involved in it, all the hard work that the ZWO company has put into the creation of this device. I didn't really understand how all the features worked, and now that I've had a month go by, I finally have a little bit more understanding. So I'd say the first video is more like an unboxing type video, but in this video we really want to discuss the features that are in this device because a lot of people, they already have their large astrophotography rig that's very expensive, and they want to know if there's even a point in getting a device like this. There's a Dwarf 2 telescope. It's very versatile. As we know, it has a scenery mode, it has a dual lens mode. The Seestar S50 only has one lens, so people might wonder if it's actually useful in regards to all aspects of photography, and we're gonna get into that now. First things first, I do want to turn the Seestar S50 on. I do think it has a very neat turn on feature. After it is on for, I'd say, about 15 seconds, it actually has a very loud voice and it will speak to you, allowing you to know whether it's ready to connect or not. So let's allow that to turn on, and then we will start getting into some of the features of the Seestar S50.
Powering on, ready to connect.
Alright, I can honestly never get over how cool that sounds. It's a very loud, very strong voice that allows you to hear it very well, even if you're a little bit far away. You can set your Seestar S50 up on top of your house, which honestly I have to do at night because I have too many trees blocking my view. As you can see, there's a lot of trees here. So honestly, it's great. The Seestar S50 has a very long range in regards to Wi-Fi, and with that, let's allow it to connect. All right, it's connecting. It's a very easy setup process as well. You just get it slightly close to it, you turn it on, you allow it to connect to the Wi-Fi of the Seestar S50. But in regards to the actual range of Wi-Fi for the Seestar, there's a lot of neat things in regards to that. You would think that, oh, it's a Bluetooth run device, it's a Wi-Fi run device. The device actually generates the Wi-Fi. So you would think, oh, you have to be pretty close to it. But in reality, you don't have to be close to it at all, because in one of the most recent updates, the update 1.8.0, we have a new feature that I'm actually going to show you in just a second.
Firmware update succeeded.
Alright, so this really cool feature that I did notice in the brand new update is if you go to your Seestar settings and you go to the Wi-Fi, they now have station mode actually on here. So what you can do is you can connect the Seestar S50 to your home Wi-Fi, and using the home Wi-Fi you can run the Seestar S50 on your devices just as long as you're connected to the Wi-Fi, and it will run very smoothly no matter where you are within your house, just as long as it's within the range of the actual home Wi-Fi. Now, the Dwarf 2 also has a feature like this, so it is nice that the Seestar S50 was finally able to get this as well. Seestar S50, I did notice before, it would have a very slow connection if you were too far away from it, say maybe around 100 feet or less. It would have a very slow connection. But now, depending on how good your Wi-Fi is, it will run pretty smoothly, no matter where you are, no matter how close, how far, just as long as you stay connected to the Wi-Fi of your home. So that's a very nice feature. Now, another thing that's here in this firmware is on focus. It allows you to actually have everything set manually now. You can see I currently have my focus point at 1784, and that allows you to change it, you know, in regards to how sharp your stars are. As you can see, my stars, the perfect sharpness is 1784, but you can actually change that when you're doing the stargazing, which I will show again a little bit later. And you can turn the focus panel on and off in order to get perfect precision focus. So we're just going to leave that on for just a minute, and we're going to switch it to scenery mode here. As you can see, we now have scenery mode turned on. And the very cool thing about this is you can just turn this up, and we're going to look at how good these optics are in regards to scenery. You would think that, okay, it's a telescope, but it's not only used for outer space. It can actually be used for at-home photography if you wanted to. So let's allow it to open up, and we will autofocus on an object to make a little test on how sharp and clear this optic is. All right, we are now centered on what you could say just a tree. We have that now in the field of view. We're gonna see how good this autofocus is.
Autofocusing.
At times, there's a lot of different smart telescopes that don't have the best autofocus algorithm, but the ZWO SEESTAR S50 seems to have perfected. As you can see, the focusing is perfect. It is very sharp, very clean. So in regards to the autofocus feature for the ZWO SEESTAR S50, it is definitely 10 out of 10, top notch. Definitely, this is very nice imaging. As you can see, it's very clear. There's a lot of different detail that you can see in regards to just the leaves here. And you can even, you know, focus on objects that are not as far away. This one's actually very close.
Autofocus completed.
And as you can see, it focused perfectly on the back of the stick here. The stick is very thin, so obviously it would be very difficult for the Seestar to actually focus on that. But then you can go ahead and take your photos. And it's not just photos too. If you were to want to do things like bird watching, you could simply just switch it to the video mode and allow that to record video. I do hear a bird nearby, but there's a lot of trees here, and honestly it would be very difficult for me to find that. Now, another awesome feature in regards to Seestar S50 that it did not have before was this solar filter. Now, this solar filter is very good. I noticed it's very high quality, and there's no signs of any scratches or smudging on the Seestar filter. Now, this is for solar astrophotography. There's not a lot of people that are into solar astrophotography in regards to the other, you know, the normal astrophotography, I guess you could say. Solar obviously is normal, but most people try to photograph nebulas and galaxies and planets and things like that. But the Seestar S50 actually does solar photography, and it has a very cool feature in regards to that as well. Let's go check that out real quick. Let me take it over to the grass, and we'll take a look at the features that there are for solar photography now. Alright, so as I said before, the Seestar S50 filter is a very nice, high quality filter. And I'm sure that one thing that you will notice about it is that it actually doesn't have any threads. The filters for Seestar S50 are completely clip-on, which makes it much easier for filter installment than having to screw on a 2-inch or inch and a quarter threaded on filter. Now, installation for the solar filter is very easy. As you can see, you just take it and you just push it on just like that. Now, before you do the solar function, obviously you need to make sure that your Seestar S50 is leveled, and if it is leveled, you will see right here where it says connected in green, it will say device not level, go adjust. After that, you can go ahead and click on solar. And what the Seestar S50 has is something I've actually never seen before in a smart telescope. It will automatically go to the sun. All you have to do after that is focus. Just to demonstrate that, let's just go ahead and hit installed and go to. Again, it will automatically look for the sun and will center by itself. Now, one downside I do want to say, you know, about the Seestar S50 in regards to solar, it does have a downfall. The color is black. As you can see, black typically centers, it attracts more heat, which can be a big issue. If it gets too hot, it will eventually turn off. It will not work properly, but that's just a result of, you know, obviously the color. coloration, it causes it to be very hot. And that is a big issue in regards to solar photography, since it is taking pictures of the sun. So let's allow this to finish its go-to, and we will come back to once it's centered. As you can see, it has successfully found the sun and centered it. Of course, the tracking is not going to be perfect because I did not level it, 100% as good as it should have been. But after this, it's very easy. You just press the autofocus button. It will autofocus very nicely in the star, and you can either take single exposures of the sun with the photo button, or you can actually record video in AVI or RAW format and process it later on PC. We're just gonna, oops. It appears it did not autofocus perfectly on that one, so let's just center the little focus box there. That was my bad. Let's focus it again. Again, as I was saying, you can process the stacked files on PC in software like pre-imaging post. I can't remember what it's called. You use auto stackered with it. I think it's planetary imaging post processor. That's what I believe it is, and it's very easy to use. All you do is you press raw, allow it to start recording the raw video, and depending on if there's windy conditions like I'm in right now, or if your device is not level, it would typically do its best to stay centered in your screen. Let's go ahead and take a photo with it. And look at the photo here. Here is our image taken with Seestar S50. As you can see, it's very sharp, very clean. The imaging looks very nice. I'd like to see what can be done with it later on PC. I've actually done a video on it before of Seestar S50 solar function, and I will display the stacked image with that right here. As you can see, the detail on this image is very, very stunning. You can see a lot of the surface of the sun. The sunspots are very nice, and there's just an incredible amount of detail for honestly, such a cheap telescope. It's very cheap, valued around 500, between $400 and $500. And the fact that we're able to see this much, detail of the sun with the Seestar S50 is absolutely remarkable. So in regards to Seestar S50 using the sun, I'd give that about a 9 out of 10, just a 9, only because, obviously it will overheat during the summertime if you leave it in the sun for too long, because it is a black object. So now let's go ahead and work on lunar photography, so we'll see how well I can do with that. And afterwards, we will go ahead and do a review on the astrophotography function, which obviously is going to be the main function for this telescope. All right, it is now nighttime, and the next thing that I would like to discuss on our list tonight is going to be the lunar feature. Obviously, the lunar feature pretty much has the same settings as the solar. It has the automatic go-to. All you have to do is do the autofocus after you do the center, and then you go ahead and either take individual photos or you do the AVI video recording and take it in for post-processing. I am going to be displaying the post-processed image while the video itself records, because obviously I'm going to have to take this video in for editing on PC later on in order to upload it to YouTube. So just for you all to see, the finished result of the stacked images, I'm going to have that displayed during the time that the video is actually recording itself. So first things first, we do the lunar mode, go to moon, and it should open by itself and auto center on the moon if this compass is calibrated correctly. All right, so the moon has successfully been found and centered. As you see, it's very easy. All we do is the autofocus. And once autofocus has completed, as you can see, it's a very clean and sharp image. And we can just take individual photos like this, or we can do what I said we were going to do. We can switch it to video mode and click raw and start recording the video, just like this. So we're going to allow this to record, and once it is finished recording, we will take it in for the post-processing. Obviously, I have the image now displayed, as you can see. I did notice the video does seem to be a little bit buggy. Of course, the app is not perfect yet, It is still under development. They are doing an incredible job though with this app, with the program. Everything so far does seem to work almost perfectly. But of course, you have to expect for there's still to be a few issues because this is still a new device. That is one thing I've had to understand, had to recognize that despite this being a very good device, it's still going to have its issues because it is still new. So also on the app, if you want to, there's actually a way that you can report any bugs or issues that there may be to the devs, which is very nice. It allows them to fix any bugs that perhaps may be still in the software. So if you buy the Seestar S50 and you have any bugs that you need to report, you can actually just go to the settings function of the app itself and report the bug to the developers from there. So like I said, let's allow this to record and we will take in for post-processing. All right, it is now time for the post-processing in serial of our Eagle Nebula. As you can see, I do have my lunar image now running through the system. It's going to take a while, so we're not going to really work on that tonight. I'm kind of going to leave that as a separate video, but I will, like I said, as you saw the result in the lunar image video portion of the video. So let's just minimize that for now. Let's go to serial. And we have to stack all of these files. I already transferred them from my Seestar. As you can see, we have M16. Interesting thing, it actually will save each JPG or each stacked image as a JPG file and as a FITS file. So you will kind of have to sort through that and separate your FITS from your JPGs so that you can stack it in serial. But once you have that, you just go ahead and open serial up, set your home directory. Set your home directory into desktop. M16 and hit open, and you just go ahead and run through your script. Alright, so obviously that didn't take very long. I did only have about 35 minutes of exposure time with the Eagle Nebula, but we're going to see how good of a result we can get from just 30 minutes with the Seestar S50. I'm sure you will be blown away based on what I saw from the raw data. So just go ahead, hit open, result.fit. You can already see it right there. And you press the open button here. We switch to auto stretch and unlink it. And here is our Eagle Nebula already without any processing. This is only 30 minutes of exposure, and look at how much nebulosity we were able to see here. This is honestly quite mind-blowing for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the background extraction. Just compute the background. Nope, generate that, sorry. Make sure you dither it and then hit compute background. Just so you know, if you don't dither it, it will add this weird pattern to it. I do believe ZWO said something about adding dithering to Seestar in the future. I'm not sure if it's already been implemented or not, but as for right now, it does need to have dithering done in serial. So once you do that, you hit save, image processing. We're going to run through a photometric color calibration. It already has coordinates in here. Just go ahead and hit OK. That's done. Next, we just get rid of that green noise. Hit apply on that. Just close it. Image processing again. Let's get rid of some of that noise right there. Just do a quick noise reduction and lower it down just a little bit. Apply. That's horrible. Okay. Go back. Image processing again. Maybe we can try it again here. Noise reduction. Let's lower it down even more. Hit apply. Alright, so no. We cannot do any noise reduction on here, unfortunately. Maybe that's just a bug on serial right now. Who knows? But this is what we'll work with for now. Do our rotate and crop. Give it a little bit of that field rotation there. Apply that. Close it. And save it. Next thing I do want to do is I'm actually going to get rid of the hydrogen alpha data. We're just going to split the channels there. So for that, we're going to do our star processing, star net star removal. We're going to run both a... Oops. Looks like storage space is running low due to the high processing we're doing here with the lunar image. But let's do a pre-stretch. Kind of ignore that for now. Hopefully we'll end up still with enough space. We're going to run StarNet, and then we're going to split the channels try to get a SHO type image and just normal image. See what we can do with both. It's really just a test what we can do with only 30 minutes of exposure. So let's go ahead and switch this back to the original form. Alright, so here is our starless result.fit file. First things first, I would like to see if we can do our little generalized hyperbolic stretch. We do need to make sure we get that correct before we do anything else on it. Let's kind of bring this up. Obviously not too much, just enough. Apply that, and then bring up the black point. We clearly don't want to clip too much of the data, so hit apply again and select the data here. And set that as a symmetry point, bring it up some more without overexposing it, hit apply there. Save that. Let's do a little bit of a color calibration here. Neutralize that background and select this nebula. Maybe we can do a little bit SHO like this. Yeah, there we go. That usually works pretty well. We do our color calibration again to neutralize that. And then we bring up saturation here. Of course, that does bring a lot of noise into our image, unfortunately. So we hit apply there, go back, and then we can actually do a little bit of noise reduction if it's possible. Okay, that does appear to have worked well, so hit close here. As you can see, our nebula is looking very nice. You can see the pillars of creation right there. Let's just save that. After this, go back to the original form, save it like that. Then we can save this actually as a unique file. I'd like to save this as like HSO if I could, because that's the kind of image it looks like. Go ahead and leave it like this. Save that, and let's go back to the red. We already have our background extraction. Everything's done correctly. Maybe we can bring up the color saturation a little bit more on here. No, that looks pretty retarded. So let's just leave that alone. Again, we'll save this as a unique file. It's like this. Save that, and let's bring the stars back in. Star processing, star recomposition, starless results. Save that. As you can see, we have the nebulosity and everything here. That's looking very nice. And then we bring the stars in. Star mask result. Bring this up. Obviously not too much. We hit apply and hit close on that. And then we save this as the unique file. Think about this again. This is only about 30 minutes of exposure. Imagine with several hours. Of course, I really just needed to bring it back aside. There was going to be some clouds coming in, so I needed to avoid that. But with just 30 minutes, we were able to get this good of an image. Now let's bring the other, the hydrogen-based data back in. The starless result like this. Try that again. Maybe it's this one. There we go. Okay. Bring that one in with the star mask. Open that again. And bring the stars in. Again, it's honestly really up to your liking of what you prefer in your image. Some people will just prefer the classic hydrogen-based data. But honestly, I like to have a little bit of extra color in there for me. So save these both. Think about how good of image. Once again, this is only half of an hour of data. ZWO is planning on adding the mosaic mode into the device soon, into firmware. That will allow for a lot more data to be put into the image. The image is going to be much, much larger, and you're going to be able to see a whole lot more detail in here as well. But once again, with just 30 minutes of exposure, the detail we're able to see on this is absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. And honestly, we can go and see other images that I have taken with Seestar S50. We go here to my photos. The other images I've been able to take with it, we have the Crab Nebula here. So there's a lot of that to load in. See, we have the Crab Nebula. We have the Triangulum Galaxy. which is also a beautiful, beautiful image. Again, all taken with Seestar. We have the Pac-Man Nebula taken with Seestar, Bubble Nebula, uh, Caldwell 30. We have the sun, as I showed you before. The incredible amount of detail here just with the Seestar. Uh, Let me check one more time for the Elephant Nebula. It's here somewhere. All right, here's the Elephant Trunk Nebula, also taken with Seestar S50. This is a dark nebula. This is even hard to grab with professional based telescopes, but the fact that Seestar is able to see all of this is honestly quite impressive for me. No matter how many times I see it, I still am quite blown away by it. We can see also if this is finished. No, it has not, so I can't quite show you that yet. But you did see it earlier in the lunar recording. My honest opinion about Seestar S50, viewing everything, it does have some bugs that do need to be worked out, as you saw. In regards to the lunar, the compass does need some calibration still, so it does have a lot of work left on it. As I said before, if there's any issues that you run into with Seestar S50, you can just report that to the developers, and they will do their best to fix that. They're working around the clock to upgrade the software to make it even better, add new features to make the device even more powerful than it already is. My personal opinion, I've been asked several times, do you think it's better than the Vaonis Vespera? Yes, I do. And as soon as we get that mosaic mode, it's going to be one of the most incredible digital telescopes on the market. It already is, especially for this price point. So would I say that the Seestar S50 is still worth buying despite the issues that it has? Absolutely, yes, because honestly, the amount of detail we're able to see with it, the new features that they're adding, and the images that we're able to get with it, again, it's absolutely incredible in my opinion for a device this size and for this price point. Again, here's the image of M16 it was able to get in just 30 minutes. You can see the pillars of creation right here, which is very, very difficult to pull out with even, once again, professional based telescopes. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's ZWO is still working on their product. It's still getting better day by day. There's people still testing brand new features. It's honestly just a very remarkable device, and I definitely recommend it to anybody who's trying to get into astrophotography, or those who just want a portable device, or even those who already have a professional rig who maybe would want to downsize, because this honestly can do a lot more than a lot of people would think it would. Some people would think, oh, I already have a professional rig, why would I need this? Well, this one you can take pretty much anywhere. You can even take it on a plane. Depending on where you're planning on flying to, you'd have to check the rules and regulations for that. But it definitely has a lot of value to it with the images it's able to pull out. Pretty much compares to professional astrophotography rigs in the amount of time it's able to pull out the data that it's able to see. I did not mention one thing. The tripod that actually comes with the Seestar S50 is able to be used with the AM3 ZWO equatorial mount. So make sure that you check that out as well. It's a very strong, sturdy tripod, as I said in the first review video. And the case, honestly, the case could use a little bit of work. Maybe a carry-on bag would be better that you could put the case inside of. Obviously, the case is not the most sturdy since it is a hard case. So that could have used a little bit of work, honestly. The battery time for the Seestar, they advertise it's about 6 hours, but when it's actually running, I have noticed it only holds up for about 4 hours before it has to shut down. If it is going to shut down, make sure you have it connected to battery power. Make sure you have it connected to external power if you plan on leaving it running overnight. That way you can get the most amount of exposure time without it shutting off, because if it shuts off while it's shooting, it's just going to lose all of the data that you obtained. Trust me, I learned that from experience, and that was quite frustrating for me. But in regards to solar imaging, lunar imaging, astrophotography, and even just scenery, they do plan on adding a panorama mode for scenery photography. I do believe I did read on their website as well. If you're just interested in visual photography, not as much astrophotography, it's still a great choice for you. So make sure you check it out. I have the link to the Seestar S50 in the description of this video. Hopefully this video helped you to see a little bit more of what Seestar S50 can do, whether it's a good choice for you, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. So please leave a like and subscribe. These videos do take a lot of time and effort to create, and honestly, your support does mean a lot. I am trying to eventually save for a professional astrophotography rig, so any support that you guys would be willing to give in regards to donations or even just your views and watch time, it does mean a lot and helps me out a lot as well. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are able to get the Seestar S50. It's definitely a good choice for beginners and even those who are advanced astrophotographers. It's a great choice for everyone. And so yeah, please leave a like and subscribe, and I wish you all clear skies, and thank you for watching the video.